Joining me is John Hinderaker of the Powerline blog and the Centre of the American Experiment. John, always great to talk to you. How much do you blame Donald Trump for this result?
Well, I think he bears a lot of blame. There are other factors too, the abortion issue enabled by that recent Supreme Court decision, the Dobbs case. But one of the major things going on in this election is, a midterm election is always a referendum on the president, right? And that's why the out of power party always does well. And the Democrats had this idea of making the midterm election a referendum, not on Joe Biden, who's very unpopular, doing a terrible job, but let's make it a referendum on Donald Trump. And of course, Trump jumped on that with both feet. Yeah, let's make the midterm elections all about me. And so he was constantly backing candidates and making public appearances and going along with the Democrats' theme that the election was all about Donald Trump. And so the Democrats are always talking about saving our democracy and stopping fascism, ridiculous claims. But all of that was code for Donald Trump. And what happened in large part is that across most of America, Donald Trump is poison. If you are associated with Donald Trump, you will lose. And we saw that in race after race. And somehow the Democrats got away with making this election not about their president, who's in office and doing a terrible job, but about Donald Trump, who's not in office and not on the ballot. I mean, it's very sad.
But it's all on Trump because he gave them that opportunity. He has such an ego. He thought he was the vote magnet instead of realizing for a lot he's also a vote magnet for the Democrats. If he's selling it, they don't want it. And now the Republicans have paid a price. Now, Donald Trump, as part of this thing, just before the election, he said, I'm going to make the big announcement. You'll be very pleased with it next week. And obviously it's about running for president. So it was a referendum on him. Should he, with this result, now quit his plans to run for election again? What should he say? I think it's next Tuesday, next Wednesday. What should he be saying?
Well, Andrew, I wrote on Powerline this morning that I hope he announces, when he makes this big announcement, I hope he says he's moving to Bulgaria. I mean, I want him off the public stage, and I think most Republicans do. But Donald Trump is kind of a megalomaniac. This morning, he was quoted blaming other people for the fact that he backed Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania. It turned out to be a terrible mistake. The brain-damaged poor John Fetterman won that election, and so this morning, Donald Trump is railing against his advisors, including his wife, and saying she recommended that he back Dr. Oz, not one of her better decisions. I mean, it's unbelievable. He doesn't take responsibility for anything, and I think he's going to plow ahead and try to run again in 2024.
Yeah, but John, you've got some knowledge of how the Republicans are working internally. Is the party strong enough to tell him, Donald Trump, you're fired?
Well, Andrew, the way our system works, there isn't really anyone who can tell him that. Anybody who says he's a Republican is a Republican. Anybody that wants to enter a Republican primary can enter a Republican primary. And there isn't anybody that Donald Trump would listen to other than possibly his wife, who could tell him, Donald, give it up. And so I think what's going to happen is, in all likelihood, he will declare for 2024. He will enter primaries. But I don't think he's got much of a chance. I think most Republicans have had it with Donald Trump. The one place where we saw the red wave was Florida, the home of Ron DeSantis. I mean, Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio won their races by like 1.6 million votes. That's where the red wave was. And I think the vast majority of Republicans are ready to move on from Donald Trump. And I see Ron DeSantis as the nominee in 2024.
I think he needs to be told, you've had your turn. Do you want to be a loser twice? That's the worst word in his lexicon, loser. He lost the last election. Does he really want to lose the next one too? Is that how he wants to be remembered? Let's see if sense comes to him. I'd rather doubt it, but the Republicans have got to make a big call here. John Hinderaker, thank you so much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew.